Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Erickson TV. Curtis here with Lauren. Hello Lauren.
Hey Curtis, hey everybody.
Hey Lauren, I found an article in the Wall Street Journal, and it's an interesting one because it kind of parallels some of the topics that you and I have discussed in the past about making good decisions.
Okay.
And this one was interesting because the title of the article is "How You Make Decisions Says a Lot About How Happy You Are."
Okay. All right.
And they came up, and so they came up with two extremes, of a term. One is called a maximizer, and then there's one that's called a satisficer.
Satisficer. Okay.
Okay. And a maximizer is a person that when they're about to make a decision, they want to check all the options. Okay. They want to do look at statistics. They want to look at reviews. They want to go through a process of making sure that they looked at every option before they make the final decision.
Right.
And a satisficer, which, by the way, is an interesting word. It's a blend of two words of satisfy and suffice.
Okay.
For sufficiency.
Right.
A satisficer looks at the minimum amount of research and choices before they go ahead and say it's good enough, and they make a decision and go forward.
So a maximizer wants to make a perfect decision,
right?
And a satisficer just sort of has a minimum,
right? Minimum threshold.
Minimum threshold, right? That like, okay, now things are good. Okay.
So this Dr. Schwartz, Barry Schwartz from college in Pennsylvania, came up with a 13-level test, but he found that many people are right in the middle.
Right. Okay.
Or many people can be maximizers on some decisions and satisficers on other decisions.
Right.
So he says that where you run into the problem is, let's say you're a couple and both of you are maximizers.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But also, if one of you is a maximizer and one of you is a satisficer, you can also have conflict from that,
right?
And how you make decisions. But a couple things, real quick. One study they went and did this test with 548 job-seeking college seniors.
Okay.
And what they found is that the maximizers landed better jobs with 20% higher pay.
Okay.
However, they seem to feel a lot worse about their jobs than the satisficers. Because I think they're kicking themselves because they even though they finally made a decision, they felt like they missed out on some of the other options.
That's right. Yeah.
And so they ended up maybe picking something they weren't 100% satisfied.
Right.
And the final thing I want to say though is that the good news is this applies to our clients and ourselves, is that the older you become, it's less likely that you're going to become a maximizer and you're going to start trending toward the satisficer. And that shows one indication why people get happier as they get older.
Right. Well, one of the reasons why you trend towards being a satisficer as you get older is you just can't maximize everything.
Right.
I mean, the idea of maximizing decisions sounds great until you have too many of them.
Right.
And I think, maybe when I was much younger, I used to be more of a maximizer, and then it just took too much time to make any decision. And you have to move forward. You have to make it. You have to go someplace.
Right.
You can't just spend months and months and months trying to decide what you're going to do next. Sometimes you don't have days and days to spend. So you just learn how to say, this is good enough, we're going to move forward.
Right. I'm not going to go through the 13-point test at the end of this episode, but some of the questions kind of led to believe that maximizers tend to switch things quicker too.
Yeah.
So I think there's some practical implications like in investing decisions here.
Right.
Because I suspect that maximizers will tend to keep researching investments, thinking there's something better out there, and switching those investments.
Right.
And the take-home point for that is you're probably going to end up missing returns and not being as happy.
Yeah, and it's sort of like maximizers tend to get higher paying jobs. Really confident people tend to get really higher paying jobs, but they tend to actually get slightly worse stock returns.
Right.
Because of that. That's the same process that gets them a higher paying job actually makes it harder for them to invest properly.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Erickson TV. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
See you next time.